Ladies and gentlemen, the journey to finding your soulmate is not a mere coincidence. It is a divine orchestration that unfolds in God's perfect timing. Many rush into relationships, relying on their own understanding, but those who trust in the Lord experience a path uniquely designed for them. The first step in this divine journey is preparation. Before God introduces you to the one He has chosen, He refines your character, strengthens your faith, and teaches you valuable lessons about love, patience, and commitment. You do not receive the blessing before you are ready to handle it. This is why seasons of waiting are never wasted, but are rather seasons of growth. Therefore, do not fear delays or disappointments. If you walk in faith, obey His direction, and seek Him above all else, He will lead you to the one He has prepared for you. Because in the end, a soulmate is not just about love, it is about fulfilling God's purpose together. One of the greatest mistakes people make when seeking their soulmate is trying to control the timing of love. In a world that promotes instant gratification, many believe that relationships must happen according to their personal timelines. However, God's way is different. His timing is perfect, and He brings people together according to His divine plan, not human impatience. We often see individuals rushing into relationships because they fear being alone, or because they feel pressured by society, family, or even their own expectations. They believe that by a certain age they must be married, or at least in a serious relationship. This mindset, however, can lead to heartbreak and disappointment. Why? Because when we force something that God has not ordained for us, we step outside of His divine will. God's timing is always purposeful. He does not delay without reason, and He does not bring things too soon before we are prepared to handle them. Imagine a farmer who plants a seed. If he tries to rush the process by forcing the plant to grow faster than its natural course, the plant will either be weak, underdeveloped, or not bear fruit. In the same way, God ensures that before He brings two people together, they are both spiritually, emotionally, and mentally ready to fulfill the purpose He has for their union. Another reason why God's timing is different from ours is that He sees the bigger picture. While we might believe we are ready for a relationship, God knows what lies ahead. There could be lessons we still need to learn, wounds that need healing, or maturity that needs to develop. If He allows us to enter a relationship before we are truly prepared, we may mishandle what was meant to be a blessing. The story of many biblical figures shows us the importance of divine timing. Take the example of Adam in the Garden of Eden. God did not create Eve immediately. Instead, He allowed Adam to first understand his purpose, cultivate the land, and experience a season of growth. Only after Adam reached a place of spiritual and emotional readiness did God bring Eve into his life. This shows us that before God unites two people, He ensures that they are first complete in Him. It is also important to understand that delays are not denials. Sometimes, when love seems distant, we may feel that God has forgotten us. However, just as He prepares individuals, He also aligns circumstances. God orchestrates events, connections, and even challenges to shape people into the right partners for one another. What seems like a setback is often a divine setup for something greater. For those waiting on God's timing, the key is to trust Him fully. Instead of worrying about when or how love will happen, focus on growing in faith, character, and purpose. When you surrender your plans to God, He will lead you to the right person at the right time, not according to human deadlines, but according to His perfect divine plan. Before God brings two people together in a meaningful and lasting relationship, He first prepares them individually. Many people long for a soulmate, believing that love alone will complete them. However, God's design for relationships is not about two incomplete people finding each other. It is about two whole individuals shaped by Him coming together to fulfill a greater purpose. Preparation before union is one of the most crucial yet often overlooked aspects of finding a soulmate. When people focus only on the desire to be in a relationship, they may neglect the personal growth necessary to sustain a godly partnership. A strong, healthy relationship does not happen by accident. It requires individuals who are spiritually, emotionally, and mentally prepared to love, serve, and build a life together in alignment with God's will. One of the first areas where preparation happens is spiritual growth. A relationship built on a weak spiritual foundation will struggle to withstand challenges. God desires that before entering a relationship, a person develops a deep personal connection with Him. This includes understanding His Word, learning to trust His guidance, and establishing a prayerful life. When both individuals prioritize their relationship with God first, their relationship with each other will be strengthened by His wisdom and presence. Another crucial area of preparation is emotional healing. Many enter relationships carrying emotional wounds from past experiences, whether childhood pain, previous heartbreaks, or personal insecurities. If these wounds are not healed, they can create conflict, misunderstandings, and even destruction in a relationship. God in His love allows seasons of singleness not as punishment, but as an opportunity for healing and renewal. He wants to refine the heart, remove past hurts, and instill self-worth before bringing someone into a committed relationship. Beyond emotional healing, preparation also involves developing character. A soulmate is not just a person to love, but a person to partner with in life's journey. Qualities such as patience, kindness, self-control, responsibility, and humility are essential for any strong relationship. God works on individuals to build these traits so that when they meet their soulmate, they can contribute positively to the relationship rather than bring unnecessary struggles. God also prepares individuals by shaping their purpose. A soulmate is not just about companionship. They are a partner in fulfilling God's plan for their lives. Before bringing two people together, God often reveals their individual callings and prepares them for the mission He has for them as a couple. A relationship that is aligned with God's purpose will be far more fulfilling than one built solely on emotions or personal desires. Those who are in a season of waiting should not see it as a delay, but as a divine opportunity for preparation. Instead of focusing on when they will meet their soulmate, they should focus on who they are becoming. When the time is right, God will not just bring them someone to love, He will bring them someone they are fully prepared to cherish, honor, and serve alongside in His greater plan. In a world that often emphasizes physical beauty, status, and emotional excitement in relationships, many people overlook the deeper and more lasting foundation of spiritual alignment. While attraction plays a role in romantic connections, it is not the most important factor in finding a soulmate. True and lasting love is not built on fleeting emotions, but on a shared faith, values, and purpose that align with God's design. One of the biggest misconceptions in relationships is that chemistry and feelings alone determine compatibility. Many individuals enter relationships because of physical attraction or shared interests, only to realize later that they lack a strong foundation. Attraction fades and common interests change, but a relationship grounded in God's truth remains steady through all seasons of life. This is why spiritual alignment is far more important than superficial attraction. Spiritual alignment means that both individuals share the same faith and commitment to God. When two people are walking in different spiritual directions, it becomes difficult to build a relationship that honors God. The Bible warns against being unequally yoked, 2 Corinthians 6:14, which means that when one person's beliefs and values do not align with the others, it creates division and conflict. A relationship where one person is committed to their faith while the other is indifferent or opposed to it can lead to struggles in decision-making, raising children, and even maintaining the relationship itself. Beyond faith, spiritual alignment also involves shared values and moral convictions. A person's beliefs about integrity, commitment, marriage, family, and life's purpose shape their actions and decisions. If two people hold opposing values, their relationship will constantly face friction. For example, if one person values honesty and humility while the other is driven by pride and selfish ambition, their relationship will suffer. When both individuals align in their values, they can walk together in unity, supporting each other in their faith journey. Another important aspect of spiritual alignment is God-given purpose. Every individual has a divine calling, and when God brings two people together, it is not just for personal happiness, but for a greater mission. A soulmate is not just a romantic partner, they are a life partner who walks alongside you in fulfilling God's plan. When two people share a common purpose, whether in ministry, career, or service, they build a relationship that is not just about themselves, but about glorifying God. It is also essential to recognize that spiritual alignment brings peace and stability to a relationship. Relationships built on superficial attraction often experience emotional highs and lows, leading to confusion and heartbreak. However, when two people are spiritually aligned, they experience clarity, peace, and a sense of direction. There is no need for manipulation, doubt, or fear because God's presence is the foundation of their love. Choosing a partner based on spiritual alignment rather than superficial attraction leads to a relationship that can withstand trials and challenges. It ensures that love is not just a temporary feeling, but a lifelong commitment, rooted in faith, shared values, and divine purpose. Those who seek their soulmates should prioritize spiritual compatibility, trusting that God will bring them someone who not only stirs their heart, but also strengthens their soul. Finding a soulmate is not about luck or random chance. It is about divine direction. God, in His infinite wisdom, does not leave us to navigate relationships alone. Instead, He provides guidance through signs, wisdom, and discernment. Many people struggle with uncertainty when choosing a life partner, but when they learn to recognize God's direction, they can move forward with confidence and peace. One of the primary ways God guides us in relationships is through inner peace and clarity. When something is from God, it does not come with confusion or fear. A relationship that is aligned with His will brings a sense of deep peace, even if challenges arise. This peace is not based on emotions alone, but on a spiritual assurance that the relationship is right. If there is constant doubt, turmoil, or a feeling of unease, it may be a sign that the relationship is not in alignment with God's plan. Another way God leads us is by closing the wrong doors. Sometimes people try to force a relationship that is not meant for them. They hold on to toxic connections, ignore red flags, or compromise their values just to be with someone. However, God, in His love and protection, often removes people from our lives to prevent future pain. A relationship that constantly drains, distracts, or pulls someone away from their faith is not from God. When a door closes, it is not rejection, it is redirection. God also speaks through wise counsel. Proverbs 11:14 says, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors there is safety." Seeking advice from spiritually mature individuals, such as pastors, mentors, or godly friends, can provide clarity. These individuals can see things that emotions might cloud and offer guidance rooted in wisdom and experience. If trusted spiritual mentors express concerns about a relationship, it is wise to listen and reflect on their advice. Another sign of God's leading is alignment with His Word. God will never guide someone into a relationship that contradicts His principles. A relationship that encourages spiritual growth, integrity, and obedience to God is a relationship that aligns with His will. On the other hand, if a relationship leads to compromise, dishonesty, or spiritual distance, it is not from Him. The Bible serves as a foundation for determining whether a relationship is truly honoring to God. Additionally, God may guide through life circumstances and divine timing. Sometimes two people may feel ready for a relationship, but the timing is not right. God may allow them to grow separately before bringing them together. He arranges encounters, orchestrates situations, and aligns paths in ways that only he can. When looking for a soulmate, patience is key. Trusting God's timing prevents unnecessary stress and allows his plan to unfold naturally. God's guidance in relationships is not always dramatic or obvious, but for those who seek him, his direction is clear. Through prayer, wisdom, and discernment, he leads his people to the right person at the right time. The key is to remain open to his voice, trust his process, and have faith that he knows what is best. In the journey to finding a soulmate, the most important truth to remember is that God is in control. His timing is perfect, his preparation is intentional, his alignment is purposeful, and his guidance is clear. Many people search for love based on their own desires, but those who trust in God's plan experience something far greater. A relationship built on faith, purpose, and divine direction. Rushing ahead of God's timing leads to heartbreak, but waiting on him brings blessings. Instead of focusing on finding the right person, we should focus on becoming the right person, spiritually, emotionally, and in character. God does not just bring two people together for companionship. He unites them for a greater purpose. A soulmate is not just about love, but about fulfilling God's will together. When seeking a life partner, the foundation must be spiritual alignment, not just fleeting attraction. Feelings can change, but a relationship rooted in shared faith and values stands strong through life's challenges. God's guidance is available for those who listen. He speaks through peace, wisdom, his word, and divine timing. Therefore, instead of worrying about when or how love will happen, surrender your heart to God. Trust that he is working behind the scenes, preparing both you and your future partner for a relationship that honors him. When the right time comes, you will not have to force anything. God will lead you with clarity and peace. Love is not a race, it is a divine journey. And when you allow God to be your guide, he will lead you to the one he has prepared for you, your true soulmate.